Hello, good morning, everyone. I welcome you to class this morning. I believe you are good. Are you? Okay, Mrs. Martha is fine as well. Thank you. It's our revision week, and I'll be revising all the topics that we've done with you today. Do you get it now? And the first topic that I'm starting with is signs and labels. Signs and labels. I told you when you're talking about signs and labels, when talking about labels. Labels are materials. They can be paper, they can be a cloth, or any material that is pasted on something to give information about the thing. Do you get it now? A piece of material, it can be a piece of paper, it can be any material that is pasted on something to give information about that very particular thing is called a sign. Do you get it now? Or a label. Do you understand now? Do you understand? Now look at the diagram that I have here. Look at this sign. This sign is telling you to stop. You can see that it is giving you information about the diagram. That when you see this diagram, you need to stop by and read. And sometimes when you see this sign, it can tell you that to stop because maybe there is danger, like part of a street light, like part of traffic light. When you see stop, you ought to stop. When when your dad or your mom is driving on the road and they see red, what will they do? They will stop because it is giving them information that they should stop. Do you get it now? And that is what they will do. That is that information. So that sign is giving information. Do you get it now? And it's also like a label. Look at this one. Label. When you talk about label, when you go to supermarket, you go there to buy things, you see that things are labeled. They will put price tag to give you information about how much that very particular thing is sold. Do you get it now? They put labels on different items for you to be able to distinguish, to differentiate between different things. If you go to supermarket, you want to buy vitamin C. You cannot get there and buy paracetamol. Why? Because there is a label on every medicine that this one is vitamin C, this one is paracetamol. So there is an information that is being passed across. Do you get it now? Do you understand? Okay. Like last time I asked you to label. I asked you to label a dog, right? Okay. And I gave you some words. I gave you word bank where you can choose words from for you to be able to label the item. Like put it in the mouth, right? When I talk about pause, where will the pause go? It goes down. You know where it is. When I talk about tail, you will not put tail at the mouth, will you? No, because you know where the tail is. Do you get it now? And when you are putting it, and I'm reading, I'll be able to know, okay, maybe I don't know a dog. Maybe I don't know the part of a dog. But when you labeled it for me, I was able to know that, oh, so this is the tail. Oh, so this is claw. Oh, this is what we call whiskers. Oh, so this is tongue. I might not know, but the time that you labeled, but when you labeled it for me, I was able to know that, oh, so this is what is called a tail, this is what is called a claw, this is what is called a paw, and so on like that. Do you get it now? You label to give information about an object, about thing that is being labeled. You can label this. Like, you meet someone today normally labeled your pencils, right? For her to be able to know, to give information about whose pencil it is. That is why we label. Do you get it now? And to know the price at the supermarket and to avoid mix-up. Do you understand now? Okay, let's move to the next topic quickly. So the next topic we'll be looking at now is stories by the same author. It's just last week that you did stories by the same author. And I told you when talking about stories by the same authors, they are just stories that are written by one person. And who is an author? Oh, maybe you don't know an author. Sorry. An author is someone that writes a book. Like if you write a storybook today and people start reading you, you become an author. Do you get it now? Like many of you, you know how to tell story, you know how to write stories. You become an author. By the time you write, you publish, and people start reading you, reading your stories, then you become an author. Do you get it now? But the person that we're looking at today, the author that we're looking at today, is called Aesop. And Aesop had lived thousands of years ago, but his works are still living. We are still reading his work. You know, when even before my grandma was born, Aesop lived, even before the birth of my great grandmas. Do you get it now? You can imagine it's been a long period of time, but we're still reading him. And Aesop was a Greek slave. Aesop was a slave, but he loved writing. He loved telling stories. Do you get it now? And through his storytelling ability, he was able to get his freedom. They granted him freedom because he was too brilliant. He could tell stories to find solution to procure solution to find solution to things that are happening. Do you get it now? Okay. Like I said, it was a slave. Aesop was a slave, but he was given freedom because of his literacy and storytelling ability. So there is something in you that you must discover. Like I said it before, and I'm still saying it in you. You have a gift in you. Aesop, because he could write stories, he was able to get his freedom. Do you get it now? So Aesop was a Greek writer, a Greek author, and he wrote fables. And when talking about fables, what are fables? Fables are animal stories, and they teach morals. Fables are animal stories that teach morals. And those are the stories that Aesop wrote. Aesop wrote fables, and fables are stories about animals. Animal stories. And they are usually what? They teach morals. They teach morals. Though they have animals as characters, they teach morals. Do you get it now? Do you understand? Okay. Many fables, and these are some of his fables. He wrote, a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush, a hawk and the reed, the peacock and the crane, the donkey in the lion's skin, beauty is only skin deep, like the lion and the mouse, like the city mouse and the country mouse. He wrote so many works, and we are still reading them today, even when he's gone. Do you get it now? Okay. So the next topic we're looking at now is a traditional story. We did traditional story, and I told you when talking about traditional stories are stories that have been told and retold for many years. Traditional stories are stories that have been told and retold for many years, over and over and over again. Do you get it now? And examples of those stories are just are fables as well. Do you get that? Because examples of traditional stories are fables. Do you get it now? So those stories, like the city mouse and the country mouse, you've been hearing it. Like do you get it now? Like the city mouse and the country mouse, you've been hearing them for a while. Do you get it now? So they've been told and retold over and over and over again. We have another story. We have Cinderella. Like Cinderella story is an example of a traditional tale. It's an example of traditional stories. Goldilocks and the Three Bears, they are examples of traditional stories. Jack and the Beanstalk is also an example of a traditional stories. They are stories that have been told and retold over and over and over again. They are being passed down from one generation to another. Do you get it now? Those stories are passed down to you, and you as well, you are going to pass them down to your children and your children's children. Do you get it now? And one thing about traditional stories is that sometimes we have them in different cultures, but there will be differences. There will be things that differentiate them. Do you get it now? Because even when the story is being told and retold over and over again, there are some things that will be left out. Some people we had to eat. They will not say it the way it is. They we had to eat. So the story continue to get different shapes. Do you get it now? From one generation to the other. And what are the features of traditional tales? We have characters. Traditional tales have characters. Do you get it now? Characters. And you know who characters are? Characters are people or animals that take part in your story. People in the stories or animals. Your actors and actresses, they are your what? They are your characters. Do you get it now? Okay. Then setting. When talking about a setting talks about where an action takes place. Where is the story taking place? Is it in the forest? Is it in the city, like the country mouse and the city mouse? You know that one story, one mouse will live like the country mouse and the city mouse. You know that in that story, one mouse will be staying in the village, in the country, and the other will be staying in the city. So we have the city setting and we have the country setting that is like a village. Do you get it now? And like the story of the lion and the mouse, where did it happen? It happened in the forest. Like the story of the gingerbread man, where did it happen? It started from the grandma's house down to the stream, right? Okay. Then we have the problem. What goes wrong? Like in the story of the gingerbread man. What goes wrong? Gingerbread man runs away. Why will it run away? So that is the problem that they want to solve. So there must be a problem. What is the problem that people are trying to solve? Do you get it now? Then who else? Like the story of the gingerbread man. Were they able to? Who actually helps? The fox, right? By eating the gingerbread man. You can imagine, even the woman that even made the gingerbread man was not able to eat, but the fox did eat the gingerbread man. Do you get now? Something must go wrong. Do you understand now? Okay, so that is that about the traditional story. Now let's look at the last topic that we did in the class, which is a poem. We did rhyming poem. And I told you when talking about rhyming poem, you know what? You know rhyming words. Rhyming words are words that have similar sound. Words that have similar sound are rhyming words. Do you get it now? When you say night and light, night and light, light and night have the same sound. They sound the same, so they rhyme. Do you understand now? Do you get it now? Okay, like man and can. Man, can, they rhyme. Like cat and rat. Cat and rat. What sound can you hear? Ha sound, right? So we have cat and rat. They rhyme. So when you're talking about poems, are poems that have words that have similar sound at the end of each line. Do you understand now? A poem that has words with similar sound at the end are called rhyming poems. So here is my own example of a rhyming poem. Now let's read together. Here is a girl from the limelight. Listen to the last word. Limelight. Limelight. Okay? Shining as bright as daylight. Daylight. What is there any similarity between limelight and daylight? Is there? Yes, you can hear light and light. They rhyme. Do you get it now? So the two will be A, because they sound the same. That is sound number 1. Do you get it now? Illuminating world's path to tread, broken souls to mend. Tread, mend, tread, mend. Do they rhyme? Yes, they do. So I have tread and mend as BB, because after the first sound, AA, light and light, they are AA. Then this one will be BB, tread and mend, because they also rhyme. Do you understand now? Okay, then the last one, and every girl to highlight. Highlight. Highlight goes with what? Highlight will also be a sound, because it goes with the first one. Light, highlights. Do you understand now? So the rhyming poem is not just too difficult to write. It's just that you should just find your words that rhyme. Okay, if you want to write about any topic, okay, you use cats. Look for your rhyming words. Oh, cat and rat. Put them aside. Dance and chance, they rhyme. Put them aside. Do you get it now? Light and sky, they rhyme. Put the words aside. Then as you are writing, then you will be coining, you will be writing, you will be developing sentences that will end with those words that you already have on ground. Do you get it now? Do you understand? Okay. So I can ask you to write about a star. And you know there is a poem about a star as well. Let me show you. Now like this poem, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Now twinkle, twinkle, little star. You can hear star at the end of that sentence, right? Star. Ha sound. That is A. How I wonder what you are. Another ha. So that one too will be A. Do you get it now? Up above the world so high. High, high. This one will be B, because it is different from her. Do you get it now? Like a diamond in the sky. High. You discover that this I has the same sound with I. So we also have B. So we have A, B, B. Then twinkle, twinkle, little star. Another hey. Because it is still the same as this. How I wonder what you are. You see, we have A, B, B, A. And this is what we called rhyming pattern. Do you get it now? This is what we called rhyming pattern. Do you understand now? Okay, so that is that about our revision on creative writing class. If you have any question to ask, something is not clear to you, don't hesitate to let me know. Do you get it now? So see you in the exam. I wish you best of luck. Bye.